The vice president is doubling down on his defense of the young Republicans involved in a leaked chat that used hundreds of slurs and joked about slavery, gas chambers, and rape. On social media, J.D. Vance says that he refused to join the pearl-clutching and played whataboutism with Democrats. But after a night to sleep on it, this is how he described the Republican operatives, at least one of whom is an actual elected official.
Grow up. I'm sorry. Focus on the real issues. Don't focus on what kids say in group chats. The reality is that kids do stupid things, especially young boys. They tell edgy, offensive jokes. Like, that's what kids do. And I really don't want us to grow up in a country where a kid telling a stupid joke, telling a very offensive stupid joke, is cause to ruin their lives. And at some point, we're all going to have to say, enough of this BS.
Now, keep in mind, the texters referred to black people as monkeys and watermelon people. They fantasized about raping enemies and driving them to suicide. They supported slavery and sending political opponents to gas chambers to, quote, watch people burn now. Now, here is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at CNN's town hall tonight talking about Republicans and the influence that they have on social media.
They have been successful because they have also been very clear, especially digitally, about what they believe. That women are inferior, that they do not deserve equal rights, that they believe that LGBTQ Americans are subhuman, that they believe and are circulating disgusting racial and white supremacist messaging that they are able to get away with digitally and online.
Joining us at the table is Camille Foster. He's the editor-at-large at Tangle. Camille, what do you make of what she said there and how it relates to this conversation about the liberty and the freedom with which these guys thought that they could spew this kind of stuff without any kind of consequences?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Abby, first and foremost. I have a lot of issues with the conversation around this particular story. I would tend to agree the comments in the thread ought to be condemned universally. But this is like kind of what you would expect, this kind of idiot, LARPing, edgelord nonsense inside of a private group chat. I think the words you used a moment ago, that they think they could say this sort of thing risk-free, consequence-free. Well, they were saying it in private. And I'm sure they were saying different things in public. Do they mean these things authentically? In some cases, they almost certainly do. There has been a resurgence of white nationalist sentiment in this country. I think it's interesting, though, to try to trace this back and to think honestly about how we got to here. And I do think that a lot of the renewed interest in race and identity things for both noble purposes and otherwise has actually helped to create the circumstances that we see now. That is not erasing any of the responsibility that people have for embracing and endorsing these kinds of sentiments, even in private group chats where they're doing this kind of idiotic locker room talk. They deserve to face consequences. But I do think that J.D. Vance's comments about this are worth actually focusing in on for a moment. This has shades of that whole eating the cats, eating the dogs nonsense from during the campaign cycle.
I mean, he would know all about that.
He is a capable spokesperson for this administration, and I mean that as both a compliment and a dig, in the sense that he seems willing to go out and defend just about anything. It's weird, the places where they decide to draw the lines. I'm not sure why they decide to draw it here. I do think the hypocrisy he's underscoring, though, is real as well.
I know why, because I've seen the places where these comments have been defended. And I think J.D. Vance is looking down the line at 2028, and he's looking at who he's calling kids right now are going to be the Republican operatives and the sort of the future of the Republican Party. And I think he's lining himself up. But you make an important point. The comments in the group chat are terrible and stupid, but I find it way more interesting that J.D. Vance has chosen to defend it.
You got young Republicans, and when we say young, we mean 18 to 40. That's considered young. To be in this organization, you could be as old as 40. J.D.'s making it sound like they're all 20 years old, 19, 17, 18. No, as old as 40. Before we go any further, let me let you know, the Tim Black Wolfpack is dedicated, committed, 10 toes down to reporting the truth, unbiased, and not working for any political party. If that sounds good to you, go to jointimblack.com, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. Some people are granddads at 40. Republicans are cooked. They're cooked because of the way that they're reacting to this. I think it's horrible, Johnson. I mean, even me, I can't stand Democrats. I tell people all the time. And when I say Democrats, I mean the Democratic Party, right? I don't mean every single Democrat. There are some Democrats, individuals that I have a lot of respect for. And there's some I don't. But even I, a person that's been very critical of the Democratic Party, I can look and say, you know what, the Democrats would have handled this differently. And yeah, man, been bullshit the way that they would have handled it, but I still would have preferred bullshit. I would have preferred you to act like, what the hell is this? What? N-words? Watermelon people? Oh, God, Hitler's cool. What? Not in my party. Not in my party. That J.D. Vance. J.D.'s like, hey, calm down. Hey, put a stick out your ass. We're all a little racist. We're all a little racist, aren't we? Everyone's a little racist. Damn, that sounds like Nick Fuentes, doesn't it? Everybody's a little racist. Aren't we all a little racist? Yeah, only some of us had the authority from the group that we're with that we could actually implement our racism. You know? Let me touch on that while I'm ranting. You know, there are people that make these comments, they sound like J.D. Vance. We're all a little racist. We all say stuff. Yeah, saying things is one thing, okay? But actually doing something with your racism, that's different. And I don't mean, oh, well, you're more likely to be killed. Black people kill more white people than white people kill black people. Motherfucker, there are other forms of racism. First of all, any of us, black men are more likely to be shot and killed by violence than any other group. So all this trying to scare white people stuff, just stop. You're more likely to get struck by lightning or eaten by your pet pit bull than you are to be killed by anybody. Okay, white guys? So just calm down. Get off X, go outside, get some sun on your face. But here's the thing, guys. There are other forms of racism that exist that impact your life besides getting shot. There are things like getting a home loan, getting approved for the home loan, not getting the rates hiked artificially, not getting your appraisal, getting sandbagged on your appraisal because you're black, getting treated like a regular citizen when you are sick and getting the proper medication instead of being second-guessed or not given the correct dosage or approved at all, which happened to my fucking wife because the doctor's like, she couldn't be telling the truth about her back. Doesn't know we got 3 new kids at home and one's 3. And we're a little older. It's a lot of work. But they didn't believe it. They thought she was a druggie or something. So we're like suing them right now because the white doctor didn't believe the black woman had a back problem. So there are a list of things we could go. We could go car loans, finance rates. We could go education, how teachers treat students in classes. It's not, so I think what we have are a lot of J.D. Vance, Nick Fuentes assholes who want to make everything flat. And it's only to absolve white people, only to make white people feel better. That's it. As if it's an indictment of you, how America, my gripe is how America's treated black people. When I say America, I mean the government, dog. I'm talking about institutions. I'm not talking about individuals. But we got people that are so defensive and because they see America is theirs. So when you say America's been mistreating black Americans, they want to defend it. Even when it's indefensible. I mean, thousands of black people were lynched and white people were not charged who did the lynching. That's after slavery. So it's not just slavery because for another 100 and so years, lynchings continued. They didn't start lynching and hanging and mutilating and frying black people till after we got freedom. No one ever flooded a white town on purpose. No one ran white people off their property and burnt their city. But see, this relates to what's happening now with this list. J.D. Vance won't even feign like he gives a shit that this was offensive as hell to the same voters that they just courted. So what I'm saying is they're basically shitting on all the work that Trump did.
Grow up. I'm sorry. Focus on the real issues. Don't focus on what kids say in group chats. The reality is that kids do stupid things.
This nonchalant attitude, let kids be kids. Now, when they say let kids be kids, they mean let white people be white people. Let white people be white people. As long as white people are white people, they make it nothing. Dog, if you think for a second, if there were a bunch of liberals, a bunch of black guys on a group chat talking like this, oh my God, Homeland Security would be on their ass. They'd be in jail. They'd all be investigated. They would be plastered everywhere. If there were a group of black radicals who wanted reparations or a black agenda was in a group chat and they were discovered to be saying this shit about other groups of people, cancel Christmas. And that's why I say America has a crazy sense of humor. They treat our children like grown men and treat their grown men like children. And this is a prime example of that. So for all my people out there for all my black folks out there that have been wondering like, God, the Democrats are so disgusting. They're so phony and fake, and they haven't done anything for us that would grant them our votes without even looking at the other side. Look, America, this is it. This is what we up against us. I'm trying to shake people out of that, shake my people out of that voting trend. They look over and they see the Republicans. They look at this shit. And they say, Tim Black, how can I ever vote for this? How can I vote for this? Stephen A., when you are going on your high horse and talking shit, did you talk about this? See, I'm talking about it because I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to make you vote Republican. Does that cost me views? Who cares? Does that cost me friends on that side of the aisle? Who cares? Does that mean Michael Singleton won't take my phone calls? He ain't petty like that, but if he did, I'm old. I've lived many years without him being my friend. I could keep going. But see, there are people like Stephen A. and others, and all the black conservatives, who, if they reported on this, they will make light of it. And it's not that this is a major issue. It's a layup. You're supposed to say, I refute it. Damn it, I refute it. It's a great opportunity. You get an opportunity to show you're not racist, to show that you're not anti-black, anti-LGBTQ, anti-Semitic. It's an opportunity where there's nothing on the table. These guys aren't even elected officials. Out of all the people in the chat, there was only one guy in some state rep position. Who gives a shit? Get out of here, dumbass. You had a job doing this. Get the fuck out of here. It's a layup. It's a finger roll at the rim. You're unguarded. You just duck it. Don't even get fancy. And J.D. wouldn't even do it. So what I take from that is a total lack of respect for black voters. A total lack of respect for Latinos, Asians, Native Americans, whatever, all the shit that was listed in that group chat. And as much as I don't want to side with Abby Phillip, because Abby, stop, Scott. Stop. Scott. Jesus Christ. But as much as I can say those things and roast Abby Phillip, I can say she's right. She's right. And that's what we got to be willing to do, fam. We got to be willing to call a thing a thing. We got to be willing to say this is wrong. And black people, we got to be willing to say we have no party. This doesn't mean you go run up under the leg of the Democratic Party like a hound dog. Admit you have no party. Working class white people need to do the same thing. They are doing the same. They don't want to admit they don't have a party. The rich are getting richer and the poor getting poorer. And when I'm saying that, that's white people too. And they still won't admit they don't have a fucking party, Johnson. But the test, folks, regardless of what people say about independent media policing one another, no, I'm going to continue to speak my mind on these issues. Those who are worried about being caught on the carpet, being called out, are just upset because they have shit to be called out for? We should be standing up and saying the truth. And the truth is, both parties suck. Santa ain't real. Whether you think it's white or black, it ain't real. And neither one of these parties really give a shit. The Democrats would have handled this better. It would have gave people the false impression that they cared. Hell, man, I see Democrats roast each other for far less. The fact that Republicans won't even pretend to give a shit says a lot. These Republicans were caught red-handed, saying some deplorable, disgusting shit about all of us. And J.D. Vance's response is, no big deal. Why are you worried about words? That's what's wrong with you, blacks. You worry about words. These are kids. Let the kids be kids. Yeah, but if it had been the other way around, they would not be saying that shit. And the problem is, all the conservative media, they all know I'm right. None of them will admit it. None of them will tell the truth. None of them are honest because they play team sports. So, let me know what you think about it. Is this a game changer for you? I think it's actually, I'm glad that J.D. Vance, I'm glad the Republicans. I'm glad of one thing, and let me say this. I'm glad that J.D. Vance did this, and it just dawned on me. Good. I don't want black Americans to be under the false idea that they could go become Republicans and that solves their problems. I don't want you to think that. Van Lathan, did you hear me? I don't want them to think that. Mark Lamont Hill, I don't want black America to think. I know some people have been, I'm not saying you guys are doing it, some people have been putting that shit out there that I feel that all black people should become Republicans. Why would I want them to become something I'm not? You're not going to get me with that, okay? Just admit that I'm not a Republican or a Democrat and I hit both parties. Just admit it, because that's what I do. What I'm saying is, I'm glad this happened, because this is an opportunity to remind black America, don't just run over there. There is no easy fix to this. That's the thing. There is no easy fix, so we got to do the hard thing. We got to judge each instance on its merits. We got to hold both parties accountable. You can't go to sleep and just say, I'm just going to ride with this. You're going to wake up and be in the damn ditch. You're going to wake up. Wow, this doesn't look like District Heights, Maryland. Where the hell am I? You're in heaven, sir. They wrecked the car while you were asleep. So you can't fall asleep. You can't just pick Democrats and Republicans and go to sleep, because they both will crash the car with you in it and have your ass sitting outside the car through the windshield. So I'm glad this happened. I'm glad it happened. This is a bonus to remind us all, we don't have a party. Them black faces in high places don't make this your party. White people, Trump's red hat, don't make it your party. It's still the party of the rich and of the elite. And we are all expendable. Just some of us are more expendable than others. And the sooner you wake up to that, the sooner we have an option. We have an opportunity. We have an outside opportunity that maybe we can wrestle back a little bit of that democracy everyone keeps talking about. But if you are blind enough to run into the arms of your captor, you deserve to have what you have. Nothing. All right, guys, look, my name is Tim Black. Go to jointimblack.com. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. I know everybody ain't talking like this because the money is in left or right. It's not in truth. That's the problem, Johnson. And that's why I need you to sign up today. Sign up today. All right.
The Tim Black Show streams Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wolfpack.